Oh, you don't have a dog, go back.
Good morning.
It is.
Good to be here again. My wife and I do the daily meditation tape with the 4 parts with relationships and physical and financial each day, and at the end of each one is 10 or 15 minutes, not that long, 3 or 4 minutes of just silent and breathing and thinking and feeling the vibrations. And this question was born out of one of those recent sessions, so I sort of feel like I'm supposed to ask it, even though I already think I know the answer from man's point of view, from training point of view. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and I've been at that for over 25 years now.
Might be time to drop the label.
Say again?
Might be time to drop the label.
That's why I say recovered from a disease of hopelessness and etc.
It is time to drop the label.
Okay.
Can't talk about that without bringing some of that vibration forward.
Okay, that's for sure.
You just can't focus on it without, yes, of course, it's not dominant, but... Okay.
So the question comes out of that experience. Law of attraction says that which is like unto itself is drawn, if I'm quoting it correctly.
Law of attraction says how you feel is what you get.
Okay.
Law of attraction says what you emanate is how you feel, because that emanation is playing against this emanation. So how you feel indicates your vibrational mix, and your vibrational mix equals your point of attraction. Yeah.
Okay. Point of attraction is what I'm after here. When I was still drinking, running after a divorce, I was 13 years single. During the 13-year period, I dated many women. I had 7 live-in relationships. 6 of them were daughters of alcoholics. So the question really is, how does that happen? They weren't alcoholic. I'm using the word, but you know what I'm talking about. Why were we attracted? Who attracted who?
Well, are you believing that your point of attraction was only about that? There were not other points of compatibility?
Oh, no. We had lots of other points of compatibility, but it was like radar. We'd see each other in a crowd on a dance floor somewhere, and bzzz, all of a sudden we were talking, and then the next thing we're out at a bar, and we're whatever we're doing.
So what is your question?
My question is, if the law of attraction says that which is like unto itself, like, the woman was not an alcoholic. She was the opposite of an alcoholic. How is she attracted to me and me to her? We are different.
The thing that we want you to feel with us, we're going to sort this out so that you can hear it. First, being the daughter of an alcoholic may very well make it active in your vibration. And pushing hard against something, I'm not ever going to do that, I'm never going to do that, I'm never going to do that. I see the destructive tendencies that brings. I see how that breaks up a home. I see how hard that is to live with. And so even though the behavior didn't translate into that, still the vibrational patterns were there. And so it'd be easy to understand how there would be another who would be attracted like that. And you have to acknowledge that there were other points of attraction that were apart from that as well. Yes?
Oh, very much.
Yes.
Physical, financial, all different aspects.
So in your vibrational mix, because there are a lot of subjects that you think about, there are a lot of opinions that you have about a lot of things. When you go on the Match.com site, if you do, or even as you contemplate what that might be like, Esther watches the commercial every now and again for one of those, eHarmony or one of them, where they talk about the points of compatibility. So Esther was wondering, well, law of attraction is really talking about compatibility, isn't it?
Yes.
Vibrational compatibility.
Yes.
Well, you just have to start with the premise, because it is fact, it is a law, that law of attraction always gets it right. And so whatever mix of vibration you've got going on is always being matched.
Okay.
One of the things that is really worth talking about in a conversation about deliberate creation is that until you are consciously aware of law of attraction, And until you are consciously aware of your 2 points of relativity, meaning your inner being and what your inner being is attracting, and you with your physical personality and what you are emanating, and therefore what you are attracting, until you are consciously aware of the law and your 2 points of attraction and the way you feel, which indicates the harmony or discord in that point of attraction, you can't really make sense of anything that you were ever living, because there was no stability. You were up and down and making decisions based upon far less than alignment with your inner being. In fact, we'd like to go so far as to say nearly everything that any of you have ever lived before you were working consciously to harmonize with who you are, we wouldn't spend too much time trying to figure out how any of that was working, because it was also arbitrary in the way that you were attracting. You see what we're getting at?
I know exactly what you mean.
It isn't until you are consistently, deliberately tending to your own vibration that you can garner any real validation from things that you are attracting. First of all, your memory isn't that good. Next, you've been telling stories about it from whatever your assumptions were then. So you've got lots of flawed premises going on that you're carrying forward also, you see.
It seems to be very common among the, I don't want to use the word alcoholic anymore, but alcoholics, that that this mating process of an enabler and a drunk find each other, and she takes care of him, drives him home safely, bails him out of jail, pays his bills, and he continues to abuse that kindness by continual drinking until he gets sober.
Well, in your world of interacting with one another, a lot of the harmony that you find, there are givers and takers, there are questioners and answerers, there are seekers and finders.
So that's harmony. The opposites are harmony. Well,
if you don't ask, it isn't given. When there is a need, then the universe knocks itself out to fill that need. In other words, it's just the natural benefit of asking.
I asked the question of a shrink once, and he said, the little girl grows up, she's the daughter of an alcoholic, she grows up seeing daddy and how daddy reacts to mom and everything in her family life growing up. She learns from that experience how to deal with a drunk. And therefore, she feels secure in going after what she perceives to be a drunk.
Well, all of that's fine, and we know that there is a train of thought that goes like this, like you just described. She observed it, she watched it, she made decisions about it, and now she's consciously making decisions about that. We disagree completely with that notion. We want to talk about law of attraction. We want to say, you see, the most well-meaning parent in the world, and not someone who is an alcoholic, can feel fear about their children, can tell them to never go out in the neighborhood, can never allow them to ride their bicycle anywhere, can feel guarded about them, and can emanate a vibration that is going to affect the way that child feels forevermore. It's the vibrational basis that you are teaching one another. You are teaching each other far more through your vibrational offering. And so it's likely that a person who is drinking has feelings of insecurity, and it's likely that someone who is standing stronger might want to satisfy some of those feelings of insecurity. There is a desire on the part of all of you to uplift and help one another, but we wouldn't try too hard to try to go into your past or anyone's past and try to reclaim what the vibration was and make any sense of it. Instead, we would let law of attraction do its proving to us here and now. We would consciously and deliberately activate thoughts, and we would give enough airtime to those vibrations and pay attention to the way we feel until we are certain that we have established a vibrational point of attraction, and then we would begin observing what's coming in response to that. Because when you go back and try to replay it and sort it out, yes, your life does begin to make more sense, but the information that you can garner from what you've lived is scanty in relationship to what you are garnering now. You see what we're getting at?
Why would this question have come to me during a meditation session? am I supposed to do this? Ask this question? I mean, I was comfortable with the idea before, but why would it came to like ask this question?
Well, we think it's a good question. We're not unhappy that you asked the question. Are you unhappy that you asked the question? Did you get an answer?
Yes, I got to focus more on the vibration and shut up about being an alcoholic.
Yep. Not shut up about being an alcoholic, shut up about having been something that you aren't now.
Right.
In other words, it has nothing to do with your now point of attraction. And when you go back and try to remember what your point of attraction was at a time when you can't even remember most of what was happening in those days, is really counterproductive.
Good. I'm happy.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Thank you.
This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.